boy, we have a fun one today. Joining me today is Duelam, and we are going to be talking about the scourges for Old Man Logan. And boy, oh boy, this is going to be controversial. What do you think?
Yeah, this is honestly, this is ruining one of my favorite game modes, unfortunately.
All right, so I'm going to give you a 10-second version of what's happening. Then we're going to read it, and then we're going to talk about how we feel about it. But the 10-second version of what's happening is CABAL is required. We already knew Out of Time was being required, and CABAL along with Emma and Loki. And there are going to be more difficulties to get into difficulty 11 and 12. You have to have 5 stars on everything, right? And to get into the next set requires 6 stars, and the next set 7 stars. So the leaderboards looks like they're going to be determined by the number of stars you have, which is kind of like the old way that we had in the past. Would you agree that's like a general... that was 20 seconds. But is that a general understanding of how this system is going to work, basically?
Yeah, it's a mix between the two. It's a mix between the old legendary system of being star-gated, but also there's gameplay behind it. It's not just hit auto. My 5-star characters can definitely get through it. There's still gameplay Scourge behind it. So hopefully there is still some theory crafting around playing the actual Scourge without just the paywall of the Stargates.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Let's just read it. Old Man Logan trials, now for the good stuff. Recruiting Old Man Logan. Commanders level 50 and above are invited to prepare their rosters to battle for the chance to recruit the leader of the Mercs for money. For the first legendary event of 24, we're excited to show you the new modified trials. We will break down some of the big changes, but please be aware that we are seeking to accomplish the following with these changes. Number 1, players will be able to unlock Old Man Logan at 4 yellow stars by collecting their input teams and completing difficulty 8. Difficulty 8 will not have any yellow star requirements. I feel like that's fine. We will have 5 new difficulties for a total of 15. These new difficulties reward players who upgrade their input teams to 5 yellow stars and more. And that is where we feel there's controversy, right? And then number 3 is also a good thing. We've heard your feedback loud and clear, and the leaderboard minimum score. This trial will feature a minimum score of 100,000 points to qualify to ensure more players can qualify. Yeah, because they raised that at one point to 400,000. And so the number of players that qualified for the leaderboards was small. So that made being in the bottom 50% or the top 25% or the top 10% worse because it's based on the number of players who qualify, and 100,000 is more players, meaning more rewards. All right, so that's good. It's this middle part right here that I think we're going to talk about mostly at the end. Let's dive into how Old Man Logan's trials will work. Upgrade tokens, and we talked about this a little bit because we had a call with Ryan Jacobson. He kind of explained that this was going to be a new thing. Old Man Logan's trials will feature a new way to unlock star levels. Upgrade tokens. An upgrade token instantly unlocks a specific star level for a character. We'll have more to share in the future about other uses and features of upgrade tokens. So my take on this is that I guess in theory they could say, okay, you get it at gear tier 15 with all the gear and all the T3s, but that does not look like the case. So the only thing this is really going to be saving is the gold. Like if you get a 6 yellow Logan, then you don't have to upgrade him from 1 star to 2 star to 3 star with the gold, right? So you save what, like $1 million gold? Or that's about $1 million gold, right? To do it all the way to 7, I think. The last one
all the way to 7. Yeah. It's like 500, then 250 from 5 to 6, and then it's like 100K from 4 to 5. So it's a little less than $1 million gold. Yeah.
So this is basically a feature of saving gold. Okay, fine. Now this is relatively good news right here. Unlocking Old Man Logan and rewards a run score of 930,000 will earn a 4-star Old Man Logan token. This score can be achieved by completing difficulty 8. And we don't know if that's going to be easy or hard or whatever, but generally late game players don't have a problem doing this, right? That's kind of, it just happens, right?
Yeah.
All right. So this creates more questions than answers right here. First run leaderboard. The first run of Old Man Logan's trials features a leaderboard, and you'll only need a run score of 100K to qualify, climb the ranks, and don't miss out on the top rewards of a 6 and 7 yellow star Old Man Logan upgrade token. Old Man Logan red stars 3 through 7, crimson gear, and teal gear. So does this mean there's not going to be leaderboards, or is it going to be like the way it was in the past where there were a different leaderboard, and the first run had more, right? I mean, what do you think this means?
Yeah, so like they had the original one for like Green Goblin. They had the ones that had like the 7 times 15 shards. So it was like those extra shards for the first time run of the leaderboards. I don't know. I'm wondering if they're going to take away some of the 6 and 7 red stars for the people getting to the top, because they used to have like the champions bracket and then the regular once somebody got to a 7-star, and they were able to redo it just for some rewards. So I'm wondering if like they're going to take away a 6 and 7 red for the second run of it, because this is the first time they're offering a 6th red and a 7th red on a Scourge release legendary on the first run. Usually those were unlocked through dark promotion credits or a leaderboard event or something like that.
Makes sense. We'll have to find out. Maybe we'll get more information at tomorrow's blog. Run scores. Clear all 10 nodes to earn the most points possible towards your run score. You have unlimited run score attempts, and your high score will be recorded. A run can be canceled and restarted anytime without penalty. Your high score. Just like all the other Scourges. Nothing new there. Difficulties, packs, and required teams. We've added 5 new difficulties for a total of 15. Difficulty 8 is the minimum difficulty to reach the 4-star to unlock Old Man Logan. Higher difficulties will narrow the character traits you can use, but they'll reward more points. The 5 new difficulties will also have star level requirements. You see me getting excited, right? For the required traits. So if your roster is up to the additional challenge, a 5 yellow star Old Man Logan token awaits at difficulty 11 before tons of Crimson gear at the following difficulty levels. And they have added CABAL, which we're going to talk about here. As we approach the release of Old Man Logan, we revisited our design decision and determined CABAL will be the second required team in addition to Out of Time, which was previously announced. So we knew about Out of Time, and I believe there was a blog post that accidentally said CABAL, and then it was removed, and then Archangel issued out a thing here in Twitch chat actually saying, CABAL might be used, blah, 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 but we don't, he had some, but they weren't sure, right? There was some back and forth on that, correct?
Correct. Yeah. It was scratched out of a blog, and then Archangel said, hey, at this time, they are not being planned to use, but I can't say that they're never going to be used in the future. And my understanding of this is that was the truth. I mean, at that time, they were not going to be required. That was not the plan. And then as obviously live service games go, plans change. It is what it is. Like, I don't know why people are saying, oh, he's a liar, this is a bait and switch. I think that's pushing it too far. Plans change, and they decided to go with CABAL.
Yeah, but this was in a blog, and then it was removed, and then there was some clarification. I would have to go back and find the clip, but anyways, I know I've got documents of it because I saw other people posting the message that was from my chat. Anyways, additionally, since CABAL is a 3-character team, 2 other characters are needed. We have made Loki and Emma the other 2 required characters. Please note that the nodes that require CABAL, Emma, and Loki will be tuned for these 5 characters. And I know some people not really thrilled about that, but if it's tuned for those characters, I think that'll be fine, right? Those there are just, well, you were saying that
they're kit bait characters.
Yeah, they're kit bait characters.
Kit, which makes me not want to build them. Like, am I going to have Emma survive the entire node because my Emma's kind of tiny? Am I going to have Emma survive the whole node so I can actually get through difficulty, whatever I want to do? But
well, talk about Loki's special. You brought up a good point about Loki's special being completely random, and that means resetting the node over and over again, right?
Yeah, so Loki's special mind controls 2 random enemies and to attack your primary target. So it's completely random. So I'm expecting 10 enemies to be on the field, and we're just gonna have to reset over and over and over again to get the right 2 enemies.
2 correct enemies.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Correct.
Okay, so that's gonna be the bad part about Loki is the randomness. All right, difficulty 5 and above will require the following traits. Node 2 will be Out of Time. Mission 6 will be CABAL with Emma and Loki, and then 10 will be a combination of 2 and 6. Difficulties 11 above will require the above teams at higher star levels, and we're going to circle back to this here in a minute because I know this is what's controversial. 11 and 12 will be 5 stars on the Out of Time, CABAL, Loki, and Emma. 13 and 14 will be 6 stars, and difficulty 15 will be 7 stars. Now, there are some other requirements, and we're just going to look at the harder difficulties right here. you know, basically no restrictions. Then it's going to be 5-star out of time, then 6-star out of time, 7-star out of time. Cosmic Bio. Let's take a look at Cosmic Bio right here. Super Scroll, Nova, Void Knight, and
that's about it. And three idiots is kind of what it looks. 2 idiots.
Photon?
It's, I mean, Photon's okay.
Yeah,
but
maybe.
I mean,
maybe there'll be running Nova with some of the Korg and Cosmo with Void Knight and Super Scroll. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right.
It's
well,
weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll see. All right. So Cosmic Bio will be here, and that'll appear twice. So we got Cosmic Bio there, Cosmic there. Hero Skill. We've got a bunch of Hero Skill, but it looks like to me that it's mostly Spider Society, right? Or Invaders. What do we got? We've got Kestrel, Noir. You got Nakia is okay.
And Spider Society.
Black Knight. And so
but you're already using Black Knight on 2 nodes. You're already using them on the out-of-time nodes. There's no way you're going to be able to use Black Knight on 4 nodes unless you've got diamonds on them, right? Like, that'd be the luxury. But I doubt you're going to be able to pull that one off.
All right, let's get to the end, and then we're going to come back to this part. We're going to talk about this part at length towards the end of the video, kind of give our thoughts about why this is generally player unfriendly or min-maxer unfriendly. It's heavy spender friendly on the other hand, right? It's heavy spender friendly, but kind of changes what Scourges mean to me, that's for sure. And we'll talk about your experience in the past. There are all the Scourges, kits and updates, head to your Farm Strike, content creator, breakdown, remainder, mercs for money teams. Those videos are out. Trial prep events. Be on the lookout for upcoming Red in the Tooth and Claw event, which contain orb that reward out of time, Cabal character shards, and other important resources. Power up your roster for Old Man Logan trials. Pocket Dimension. I know people like the rewards in Pocket Dimension, but this one looks like it's going to require a Cabal. Keep an eye on the epic campaigns because the next Pocket Dimension is bursting into existence soon. We'll have more details in an upcoming blog, but this all new Pocket Dimension will be called Temporal Dimension and designed for the Cabal team. Power up the team of Evil Jesus to ensure you double dip on rewards. So this means if you spent on Cabal, not only did that help you in Kiln, it'll help you on Pocket Dimension, and now it's going to help you to get. It's a triple dip, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it's. I mean, I'm okay with it because it's Pocket Dimension. We've been asking for that for a while, and it's a different Pocket Dimension. It's not just Dark Dimension 1 scaled up like it was. So at least it's something new.
Okay, so let me I'll give my take on what Scourges meant to me before and why this changes. And then I want your experience because you have a unique experience without spending money and doing very well by spending a ton of time, right? We're going to talk about your specific experience. But the way that I see leaderboard events and the legendaries unlocks is that there is a fixed amount of 6s and 7s. There always has been. And typically people that spent a lot of money and had the 7 stars did better anyways, right? I mean, so there always was a pay component to these events, right? But there also was a secondary component where an individual who potentially did not spend any money or very little amount of money, and they reset the nodes over and over and over and over again. And sometimes those players were able to get 6 and 7. So the way I see it is that there's a fixed number of 6 and 7s that are allocated on the leaderboards. Scopely has gone and said the people that spend are going to be at the top, and the people that did not spend aren't going to compete. Now, a lot of this is predicated on doing 12 with every Scourge turned on. Everybody's going to be fighting to do that, and everybody's going to have the same score, and everybody's going to be going up, and maybe whoever finishes first or most efficient wins, and then people roll into difficulty 14 with 0 Scourges on because they have everybody at 6, and they get double the points of everybody in 12, and they automatically get the high red stars, right? I mean, that's what we're afraid of, right? So it feels like they're just dictating who's going to get the 7s and the 6s more on spending rather than people having the option of being sweaty and not spending and spending a lot of time. Tell me specifically about your Scourge experiences like with Black Cat and what kind of player you were.
Yeah, so with the Black Cat Scourge, if you remember, that one was the one that required MOE with like X Factor and then Quicksilver. So I've always loved Crucible, so I was high ranked. I got a lot of Quicksilver shards pretty quickly because I was high ranked up there. And then also I opened up a lot of core orbs for Kang because I knew he was going to be really good once they changed his kit to add that 5% speed on offense. He kind of got that CABAL treatment. So I cored a bunch on him. I cored like 15,000 cores and got him at like a 4 or 5 red right off rip. So he was at like 5 red for the Scourge. And I for the Black Cat Scourge, that one was probably the worst one. For node 6 specifically with the double gambits, I remember spending 6 to 8 hours on that node trying to get through it to min-max it with a small team. And I was able to do it. And then I remember I think it was node 4 and node 7, which was like the Mystic Global, where you had to like finagle the Doom. The Doom had to be just high enough health to survive, to not get one shot by the Silver Surfer, but to still live. And then he had to take Morgan Le Fay on the ride, and then you had to delete people. You had to have a good enough sack. And I was able to get through it. I ranked 167, I believe. And I was actually above somebody who also makes content, Ambassador Al. And I looked at that and I was like, dude, there's no way I should be above somebody like that who spends, because he was a spender back then. But I did it by figuring out ways around it. I sacked nodes 2, 3, 4 times. I would go in with just a singular Phoenix, soak up an ability, Dark Phoenix special, make sure Icarus doesn't have his passive anymore, and then die to Icarus ult. And I'm like, cool, now Icarus passive is gone, Icarus ult is gone, and Silver Surfer ult is gone. I can now beat this node. So like I found ways around it because I used my brain. I theory crafted. I busted my ass to figure out how to do it with my roster, not with Dorky Dad's roster, not with anybody else's roster, with my roster. And that gave me the feeling of like when people talk about the God King Thor campaign node way back in the day, how good it felt to be able to beat that, because it felt accomplishing. That's what Scourges are for me. It's accomplishing. Now it's just open my wallet so I'm able to accomplish it.
Yeah, so basically you were able to spend a lot of time and do well, right? And now that you're not going to have that opportunity. So they're taking something that was a min-maxer's, theory crafters could excel, where now it's going to be more weighted heavily just to spenders, right? So
yeah,
that's the change. And I mean, it feels like, I don't think auction is the right word, but it's possible that the people that have a full 7-star out of time and a full 7-star Cabal automatically get a 7-star Old Man Logan, right? With no effort, just...
Exactly. And that's the thing. No effort. Krakens have the key to the gate of difficulty 15. They can go in there and they can go 0 effort, difficulty 15, no trials, breeze through it and call it a day and say, oh, cool, I'm top 50 on the leaderboard because not many people have 7-7. I'm only competing with other people who also want the same rewards. What does it even matter? People like me, people like Juicy, people like everybody else who wants to min-max that are maybe light spenders have no chance of touching this now, because you have to spend $250, $300 on the unlock of a character just to even get in the same room as them. Right. I can't even get in the same room as them. This is like high limit slots, and my credit card limit isn't high enough to get into the room in the back. Like, how is that even okay?
All right, so this was just sent to me right now. Thank you, Steven, for sending me this. This was the first version of the Cabal blog before it got edited. It said, Cabal will be required for the next legendary character. So if you have plans for the legendary trial domination, be sure to recruit and power up this squad. This was lined out, and then this was a message to me in my Twitch chat, which was screenshot. So this was publicly made. This wasn't a private message. This was public. Mobile Gamer, to the chat, this was put there erroneously. I can't say Cabal will not be used for a future legendary. I can say will not be used for the next legendary, which is the character out of time needed another team, which will be announced soon. So that's just wrong, right?
I think at that time it was right. Okay. Right. So I think plans do change, and I think that's an understanding that plans can change. Right. I'm not excusing it because mistakes can happen, but I think plans changed. I think originally they were in talks with Cabal, and then they were like, hey, no, we're not going to do Cabal because then it's hard. This is pure speculation that, hey, it's going to be hard to balance around only a 3-man team in there or force people to have only 2 other people in there and balance it around that. So they were going to go with another 5-man team. And then they went back with Cabal for whatever reason. Like, you know, everybody's going to say tinfoil hats. Oh, Cabal sales were down. So they're going to require them in multiple places now. I don't know that. But I don't think it's fair to just throw Archangel to the wolves and go, well, you lied. You told us they would never be required. No,
I don't
he
think
said
I don't think
at this time there's no plan. And then plans change. That's how a live service game works. Period, plain and simple.
I think it's a reasonable take. Yeah. Okay. So I'm curious to know what people actually think about these changes. I mean, I think the spenders will like it, and I think the people that are min-maxers, low spenders, non-spenders, moderate spenders, you know, this kind of puts that segment of the player base at a disadvantage. I really hope they figure out the ties. It's going to be super annoying if most players are in this difficulty 12 and we all have the same score. That's not going to be. That's not going to be first. It's not going to be cool at all. Yep. I don't know. All right, let me know what you think in the comments section. And as always, thanks for watching. Keep on gaming. Bye for now.